So, last night I was preparing for my speech. Last night. And I heard a lot of sound inside my room. I opened the door and there were a bunch of free-spirited young boys and girls who were sitting right here somewhere in the front row. And they were really having a nice, loud conversation. And I took a little party spoiler, opened the door and said, guys, shh, please. When I looked at me, one of the boys said, excuse me. I was so happy. I was like, oh, well, that mom. Well, then somebody said, oh, she might be an student. Another person said, no, she's a teacher. So I thought I'd just pass the way. And I said, what video keynote speech after? And then, you are. They're all 8 and 12 and then John was like zombies. Some towards me, what do you speak about? And I said, leadership. And they were like, 30 minutes, not speak for long. And I'm like, now that's a bunch of kids who know what they want. And one of the young people, very smart one, she said, what is leadership? Leadership is initiative. And I was like, oh, my job is done here, I'm speaking. But that's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, leadership is initiative. And now that I know that you're working more on leadership, I think that's how I try. So well, leadership can be very many things, and I'm going to work on it. I actually want to ask you if there is a very popular leader or Instagram follower or Instagram influencer creator that you like. Who do you think is a leader? Can you give me a couple of names? Go ahead and raise your hands. Just go for it. Okay, very good. I'm just holding. Anybody else? Oh, Mr. Beast, amazing. Nice. Who else? I see you. Virat Kohli, very good. Anybody else? Yes, Vishakha is a friend. Sorry, I'm more serious now. But having said that, very rightfully correct. And I'm so glad that you guys don't have to think twice or taking these names. When you think of Mr. Beast, when you think of Virat Kohli, when you think of Vishakha Singh, our Prime Minister, she was very happy. Or you think maybe of your popular classmate. Is your popular classmate a leader? May or may not be. I don't know. It's not saying no. But anyways, so that's the thing with leadership. Leadership does not always mean fame. It does not mean the number of accounts that you have. Leadership is something that's much more deeper. Why is Virat Kohli a leader? Because, yes. Absolutely. He basically takes care of the team and his job is to ensure that the team wins. And that's the mark of a leader. Virat Kohli is a leader because he's consistent, he's persistent, he falls, he rises again. Even when the team is not and his own fans are praising him, this man keeps his composure, gets the team on track, and goes on to play his next match. Virat Kohli is a leader because while she had the zenith of her career, she decided to leave India and start all over again in an alien country that is not hers and build a career. And today she is the UN ambassador for not many charitable causes. And then we have she is a very innovative, of course, is an actor leader. What about Gandhiji? Absolutely. Now the thing with Gandhiji is imagine if he was around today. In this day of Instagram where you're supposed to write good notes and put out pictures, I don't think Gandhiji would have gotten more than 350 likes. But that man made a difference. He led our country to freedom just by practicing himself. Again, it's the mark of the leader. If you ever got nervous before an interview, before an important exam, before a competition that you were participating in, what would you say? Do you ever get nervous? You know that baby roll that happens? Raise your hands if you do. Oh, thank you. ships to attack them. And right before the battle, the admiral calls his mate and he says, "Bring me a red shirt." And then he says, "So why do you need a red shirt?" And he very calmly says, "Because if I get wounded, I don't want the team to see the blood." The admiral goes out, speaks to his crew and says, "My dear team, today we fight or we die, but we die trying." He turns around, just begging and says, "Oh damn, I should have asked for brown pants as well." Now if you get it, you get it, otherwise ask the person who wants to do it. So that's the thing with leadership. Leadership is not about pretending that you're not scared, but it's about ensuring that your mood doesn't affect the morale of the team. Your world lives in hierarchies. You have the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you have the income hierarchy, you have the high net worth individuals, the ultra rich, the upper income group, the middle income group, the lower income group. In corporates, you have these segments of categories of the senior leadership. You have the board, you have the principal, you have the heads of departments, you have teachers, and then you have new joiners. And in schools, students, what is the category that you see? You see kindergarten students, you see primary schools, senior secondaries, higher secondary, all of that. So you see, as you grow in life, you will cross all these hierarchies. Level of seniority means that you are a leader. Some are born into it, I think, by virtue of being in their DNA. Some are mentored. But the truth is that every leader was once a follower. So the real question is, how do you become one if you're not really born with it DNA? You don't necessarily wait to be a CEO. So this was in class 8. We had a unit test going on, and one of the teachers came to write the questions on the board. And we were supposed to write the answers, of course, in our answer sheets. Now, it wasn't always necessary for that same class subject teacher to come and write the questions. It could be any teacher. So on that particular day, we had our music teacher who came in and started writing the questions on the blackboard. Lovely person, great at what he did. But when he started writing the first question, 1 minute passed. 4 minutes passed, 5 minutes passed, and he was still on the first question. The friends around me started getting agitated, and we are like, oh my God, this is a 45 minute class. We've lost 12 minutes. Still not been written. How are we going to complete our exam? And then it struck me, oh my God, sir doesn't know English. And he's been given this task of writing this for everybody, because when everybody wins, you also win. The young ladies here very generously were speaking very nice things about me. And I have done films, and I've had the privilege of walking away from films. Not many people can boast of that. I can choose when I want to act, and I'm a film producer at COVID in their tech startups as well. But there's something that wasn't mentioned, which is I actually spent a day doing chow on screen. And this was for a film called Ke Hum Jijanse with Ashutosh Dubai, the Oscar-nominated director. Now the film is about the Chittagong uprising, where I played a freedom fighter, and he in cotton sarees, and we were basically infiltrating British cantonment to gather information to give back to the freedom fighters. The scene involved her and me coming with chow. Now, right before the shot, and a few months before the shot, when you're young, you start feeling very cool. You feel like, oh, now, I'm like a school person, people are picking up my bags, people are taking umbrellas, you carry umbrellas, you taking pictures. So you kind of carry all of that weight with you. Cut to, you're on the set, judge. And that moment just shifted something. It made me realize that I was judging a task. I was prejudiced and I had to get over it. It also taught me that just because I was feeling a certain way, I was holding up an entire team. Linemen, director of photography, costume, actors, everybody. So I told myself, Vishakha Singh, get your act together, get your ego aside, don't judge what you're doing, do the task. And that day it also taught me the dignity of labor. So I got that shot done. And I think every time in life, all of us encounter these hollow moments or mock moments. But remember, authority can also mean responsibility and accountability. And when you're on the top, ensure that you're empathetic, that you practice diversity and inclusion, and that you are kind. You know, the mark of a good organization or an institution is not who the leader is. Sure, that is one marker. But the beauty of an institution is when you walk into it, you should not be able to make out who is the leader, because every person individually should look like the leader. That's the hallmark of an institution. There is another kind of, for my career, I've been to many small towns looking for stories of the common man. And one story of Shanti Amma in Tuticorin kind of stuck with me. And there are thousands, perhaps lakhs of Shanti Ammas across India who perhaps practice this. Shanti Amma would go to every household in a village just to convince them to send their daughters to school. And an educated lady, she wanted to do something more for the community. She wasn't looking for a salary, she wasn't looking for an award or a reward. I met her after 2 years and she had already got some success. There were now about 12 girls going to school in her village, which was quite a win for her. And that is how leadership walks alone, consistently and persistently, day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year. And that is how you start gaining followers. While that is not the goal, having a followership or a follower count or a group of people who follow you or who believe in you is a byproduct of your larger vision. You know, in
wanted to be an active producer and an entrepreneur, and what steps did you take to become a person?
So here's the thing, I did not know that I wanted to be an actor. Nobody from my family is in the film industry. I did not ever in life thought I'll become a film producer or a tech entrepreneur. But I think if you look at all these roles, acting, it involves media and a camera. You look at film producing, it involves media and a camera. It also involves the stage. Tech entrepreneurship is an extension, it's a different thing, but the core of it is being on stage, being comfortable with the mic, being comfortable with failing publicly. And this gentleman here, Ram Thakur sir and Sonia ma'am, ensured that I had enough opportunities to be on stage during my school time. I passed out from my school, he gave me a certificate of recommendation and I was stunned when I read it. The certificate of recommendation to the university's read, Vishakha is a brilliant actor and a director and she will be an asset to your institute and she's very good at public speaking, etc. etc. And I was like, oh my god, he knew it all along and I learned all of this about me 12 years after passing school. This life will throw you a lot of opportunities. You decide what your best fit is, and if something excites you, take it up even if you are not ready because the opportunity may not come. Take it up, be willing to fail, because I kid you not, failure will teach you so much. I'm doing the same mistake twice, right? Only once It's very simple. It's you are a leader, you are recognized. You have some say and you have some sway, right? Today when I walk into a room, especially if people recognize me, I know they will go out of their way to make things happen for me. Okay? So tomorrow if I'm at the airport, I know I can cut the queue and go there if somebody recognizes me and I get preferential treatment. Yes, we come to that. Let me just get to the girl in the balloon.
How did you face any difficulties during the journey when you were becoming an actress or like a film producer? And like what leadership initiatives would you like advise us students?
Sure. There were many challenges. When I decided to become a model, again, as I said, I did not know, I didn't know anybody in the film industry. Okay? And my parents were, of course, worried because you're going to be traveling, you're going to be changing cities, you're going to a different city. That itself is quite daunting. But I remember my father telling me one thing. He very specifically said, remember, every industry you get things off, be it medical, be it law, be it engineering, startups, entrepreneurship, corporate, any ecosystem you decide to make a career in will have its pluses, will have its minuses. How you progress in life is all up to you. That's one. Second thing is, it's great, but I went to the film industry, which is all about looks. The first thing that I faced was, oh, she had a pera down. Okay, now that's something very, you never really thought about those lines. Because there you are a thinking person, people are picking on you for being different. And I was asked to correct the way my teeth are, and I refused to do that. I said, I'm sorry, I was born with it, I'm not changing it. Adding an additional day, and these are minor problems, right? Because they're actually not issues. But I learned to deal with them because I was like, this is inconsequential, I'm not going to deal with this. But I think the bigger test for me was deciding what kind of films I wanted to do and what I didn't want to do.
Ma'am, when did you decide to become an actor, a producer, a director, and a tech entrepreneur?
So again, nothing in life is linear, right? School में तो we know कि अभी class 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 होके निकल जाएंगे, college जाएंगे. Career paths are, at least the choices that I have made are not linear. You know that when you enter your career, you will be an intern, then you will be junior level, mid-level manager, higher CEO, etc., etc. That's the graph. But in acting, there's no such thing. Even a Shah Rukh Khan after every Friday has to prove himself. Today, the Durandar is a mega hit, but Ranveer Singh is still not assured of his next hit. Right? He can ride on his wave for the next 3 years, but he will again have to prove himself with another hit. So when did I decide to come? I think opportunities came, I took them up. I knew they were great opportunities. I knew I had a talent to be on camera. In fact, in school, I used to think I could be a news leader. But then opportunities came, I took them up. 8 years after acting, I decided I will produce films. I had the knowledge by then. So that was the extension. So an actor is an employee of the director and the producer. I became the boss of the actor. Okay? And tech startup happened again. It was an opportunity that came my way. Somebody had asked me to invest in their startup. I started studying their business model. And I realized that I understand tech. I didn't know I understood tech. I didn't even have a tech background. And I built India's first NFT marketplace. So I think these were just opportunities that we were
Take the initiative to be a leader in a hierarchy, and if yes, how?
If you're in school, you are at school, but say moving forward in your career, when somebody is giving you a task, the idea is to take ownership and do your task well. Sometimes the task could be very simple, but you have to under-promise and over-deliver. Sometimes it could be a group project where you have to then remember that you are part of the group. There is no I, there is a we. And if there is one person who has messed up in the group, you But I think at the